I'm Jessica.
Hi, I'm Christeena.
And you're watching Game of
Tomes.
Tomes. Today we're going to be talking about The Bell Jar. The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. A memoir based on her true experiences. This is my library edition, YA version cover.
And this is just my bought on Amazon one.
Yeah, I prefer your cover.
I prefer that cover.
It's interesting.
Yeah. I like the umbrella and the colors on it and stuff.
Mm-hmm. On the back it says, I felt very still and very empty, the way the eye of a tornado must feel, moving dully along in the middle of the surrounding hullabaloo.
I really like that.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah, I really like that. This has been sitting on my shelf for a couple months. Not too long, but long enough that, you know, I need to read it. So we decided we would read it at the beginning of the year. Mm-hmm. And we went into it, like,
completely blind.
Not knowing anything.
I had no idea what it was about.
No, I didn't either.
So I had read this quote online here. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Christina's got it highlighted for me because
it's my book and I can do what I want.
And it's an awesome quote.
It is, yeah.
And I read this and I was like, wow.
I've seen a lot of this on the internet, like this quote, and that is what made me want to read it as well. That was the one thing where I was like, I need to read that book.
Yeah. Okay, here it is. I saw my life branching out before me like the green fig tree in the story. From the tip of every branch, like a fat, purple fig, a wonderful future beckoned and winked. One fig was a husband and a happy home and children, and another fig was a famous poet, and another fig was a brilliant professor, and another fig was Europe and Africa and South America, and another fig was Constantine and Socrates and Attila and a pack of other lovers with queer names and offbeat professions. And another fig was an Olympic lady, crew champion. And beyond that and above these figs were many more figs I couldn't quite make out. I saw myself sitting in the crotch of this fig tree, starving to death, just because I couldn't make up my mind which of the figs I would choose. I wanted each and every one of them, but choosing one meant losing all the rest, and as I sat there, unable to decide, the figs began to wrinkle and go black, and one by one they plopped to the ground at my feet.
I love that.
I do too. So, real quick, what it's about.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's in New York, and she has this amazing opportunity to do something great. She's there for, like, she's in college, right?
Yeah, and she got a scholarship for a month to go, kind of like a fashion, sort of. But she, like, you can
She's
go...
working for a magazine or
Yeah,
something?
she's more on the writing aspect. There's others who are, you know, making clothes and et cetera, et cetera. But she's more, like, for writing articles for the magazine.
And this is her, like, time to, like, soak up as much information as she can and network. And she just feels, I don't know, despondent, maybe. And she just kind of goes into this, like, she's just, like, doesn't know what she really wants in life, I think. And she's sort of letting this opportunity pass by.
Most of it is,
like, half of it she's there.
Half of it she's in New York, and then the last half she's back home and dealing with the fact that she's not sure what to do with her life now, even though she thought she always had a plan, and now she doesn't. And it's just kind of, I mean, for people who have ever felt this way, I think it's fantastic.
Absolutely.
I mean, I really, really did enjoy it. A lot of people say that it is a little more on the depressing side, which, yeah, but I think it's
important.
I think it's important because I think, like, there's a lot of people who feel this way, and this is one thing that I also feel is not talked about a lot, is, like, just the aspect of fresh out of school or, like, any point in your life feeling like, I know what I'm going to do, and then when it comes down to it, you're like, nope, not at all. Found out that you just maybe, like, don't really care as much as you thought you would.
Right.
And you're just kind of struggling to find yourself when everyone around you seems like they have their life together and you don't.
The first couple of pages, well, the first half of the book, really, when she's in New York, I was like, wow, this is a lot like Catcher in the Rye, which I didn't like that book, and I think I just didn't pick it up at the right time for me. It was required reading in high school, and I just didn't understand it. I was like, I just didn't get it. I mean, I got it, but I just didn't get it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I just didn't. It wasn't ready. It wasn't the time for me to read that book.
Right.
And anyway, I like this better than Catcher in the Rye. And also, I felt like I could relate to her.
Yeah.
In that aspect of not knowing what you want to do.
Yeah.
Of knowing what you want to do and then, like, you not being able to take that path.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. I think she gets depression amazingly well.
Yeah. That's one thing that I did really like was there's a lot more of mentality-wise in it, because I know we've tried to read a couple books and they didn't do justice, we felt, at all. Kind of just like skimmed over it. Mm-hmm. This one is one that actually does, I feel, go pretty good in depth about it, and the feelings and emotions into it. I don't want to say it's an eye-opener, but I mean, it's, I don't know, reading it, I was like, yeah, and I was like making marks in it and tabs and stuff because I was really enjoying it. And then I didn't really have so much to say about the rest of it, but it was just more so of like a lot more to take in per se, and I wasn't really thinking about, you know,
taking notes.
Yeah.
I actually preferred the second half.
Did you?
I did. And I won't get into why because this is a spoiler-free review, but...
Right. I mean, if this is one that you've been thinking about picking up, beware trigger, I guess, for depression and suicidal thoughts and those kind of things. Mm-hmm. But I do think if this is one you're thinking about picking up, do it. Especially if you've ever felt like this in your life, whether you do now or whether you have in the past. It's a great read. I mean,
absolutely.
And it's a lot very similar to her life, and my version in the back actually has...
Mine does too.
You can, after you finish it, read more about her life and, you know, things that she went through. Because, tragically, she did commit suicide when she was in her 30s and in Paris. And, you know, she struggled as a writer as well and things like that. Mm-hmm. So it really, I think, mirrors a lot of her life, obviously. So...
I listened to an interview with her.
Yeah.
On YouTube. She had this crazy mid-Atlantic accent.
Oh, really?
Hardcore, like she sounded like Amelia Earhart or something.
Yeah.
And it was like very, like, she sounded boisterous and confident, like not at all like I imagined her to be a lot more soft-spoken while reading it.
Yeah.
And that is not how she sounds at all, which was kind of crazy.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like, I'm good.
I understand.
Yeah, that's, I would have never guessed that. Because, especially reading this, I was like, picturing more of a timid kind of attitude and persona from her, but that's...
And it just goes to show, like, you never know what someone's going through.
Yeah, versus what they appear to be versus what is actually going on, so...
Yeah.
I really, really enjoyed this very, very much. And I'm really glad I read it, and especially, I think it was a good first book for New Year's. I mean, we planned it that way, and I really, really like it.
Me too. So, we're going to talk about it, and we'll have a discussion video. So, when you read this book, come back and watch our discussion. We'll talk all about it.
Yeah, and then comment on it, and we'll
have a discussion with you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool. Come be our friends. I'm Jess, Game of Tomes on Twitter.
And I'm Christeena, GOT.
And I hope you're reading a great book.
Bye.
Bye.